Coming up on Look Today, well, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik visited SUNY Adirondack at the Wilton Campus today. It was a roundtable discussion on veterans issues. We were there. Plus, Pitney Meadows Community Farm is celebrating its grand opening tonight. More on that coming up. And Brookside Museum, Ballston Spa, allows young students to release their inner archaeologist. I got those details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. Well, in tonight's program I sit down with Ken Garcia. He's a candidate running for council seat, Town of Wilton. He's here to discuss his background and his reasons for running. And I also sit down with Unki Mayweeson. Now she's a science teacher, Ballston Spa School District, and she's here to talk about her experience at Space Camp in Alabama. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, represents the 21st District, visited SUNY Adirondack at the Wilton Campus today. Now, she held a roundtable discussion with advisory board members on veterans issues. Now, some of the Congresswoman's policies include the Military Caregivers Act and the Military Family Stability Act. Now, we were at the Wilton Campus today, and we spoke to the Congresswoman.
So today I'm focused on veterans issues. As you know, New York's 21st Congressional District has more veterans than any other congressional district in New York State. I just had the opportunity to visit a veterans program in Ballston Spa, a men's housing facility, as well as a women's housing facility, the Guardian House in Ballston Spa. And today we're having a roundtable so I can hear from various veterans advocacy organizations, fellow elected officials at the state level, as to how we can improve veterans care.
You know, I know firsthand how the Congresswoman feels about veterans and veterans issues. When she was here recently for a three-part interview, she and I were sitting in my office. We spent a lot of time talking about this. She's very dedicated to veterans. All right, in other news, well, Pitney Meadows Community Farm in Saratoga is celebrating its grand opening tonight. Fire Feast on the Farm is a fundraiser and will hopefully raise enough money to launch its educational facility called the High Tunnel. Well, Fire Feast will feature chefs from all over the country. Well, we were at the farm today. We snuck over there and we spoke to a private chef who's on the farms committee. His name is Dan Spitz.
You know, we've all put in a lot of hard work in and planted all these vegetables for this event, and we brought in some really great chefs from New York and New Orleans and all over to make this happen. And so we paired up local. I'm one of the local chefs, along with quite a few others that are helping these guys out source their products and put everything together.
Now, not only is this farm a great idea, but this event, the music and the food is over the top, and the money will go right back into the farm. All right, switching from news to weather. Well, today saw a continuing rise in temperatures, more clear skies. Let's see how the rest of the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm meteorologist Clarence Sponsor with your first look weather forecast. Let's take a look with our high pressure still in control for much of the Midwest, Southeast, despite pop-up showers and storms. This low pressure just off the Florida, South Carolina, Georgia coastline. That was once Tropical Storm Emily is making its way towards the northeast, staying offshore, and is expected to stay offshore along with that stationary front boundary that went by the U.S. That was once a cold front, bringing some relatively cooler and drier weather. High pressure out in the Rockies, and then also a secondary high pressure just off the New England coast, and then this cold front boundary making its way towards New England as well, coming from Canada. It's going to provide an increased chance of showers and storms. In fact, there are already a few shower and storm chances across New England and upstate New York, with temperatures dropping into the lower 60s across our viewing area. We'll see a 62-degree low in Fort Edward, 61 in Whitehall. Because we head towards Glens Falls, we'll see an overnight low of 61 degrees. And for us, we'll see some patchy fog late, otherwise partly cloudy. Wednesday, we should see mostly sunny skies, but later in the day, we should see more scattered storms as highs reach the mid-80s. As you walk out the door, it'll be a nice start, maybe a little bit on the sticky side with dew points in the mid-60s. We'll see mid to upper 60s to lower 70s. for the out-the-door forecast. And as we look at our extended forecast, we'll see high temperatures remain in the mid-80s for Friday, but temps drop below average as the cold front passes back in the 70s for highs on Saturday and Sunday, with low temps dropping from the mid-60s back to the upper 50s Sunday morning. That's a look at the weather update here on First Look Weather. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponser. Now I'll send it back to you, Jesse.
Well, thanks, Clarence. Well, back to the news. Well, here's a fun story. The Brookside Museum is giving young students a unique opportunity to release their inner archaeologist. Brookside Digs is an archaeology program offered by the museum. It's taking place in Ballston Spa. Now, the program runs until August 4. Interested students can register online via the Brookside Museum's website. Well, we were at the site today, and we spoke to Adam Lucier. He's project director, Hartgen Archaeological Associates.
I have the kids dig down. I teach them about excavation levels, stratigraphy, and how to identify different excavation levels. And the deeper you dig, the older it gets. And they love finding the artifacts. And then at the end, teach them how to interpret what they found and try to marry that with the historic records, since there's a written history of when this was built and all the different things that this building was over time.
That's a very cool program. All right, up next, I sit down with Ken Garcia. He's a candidate. He's running for a council seat in the town of Wilton. He's here to discuss his background and reasons for running. I also sit down with Anki Mewisan. Now, she's a science teacher, Ballston Spa School District, and she's here to talk about her experience at Space Camp in Alabama. Fun interview. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. I've got one lookout. It's about me. I got a story to tell you. So I have to truck down to Albany today, downtown Albany, in the middle of this heat wave and everything else. Meet a good friend of mine, Nicole Stein, runs marketing for CEFCU. Now, CEFCU, by the way, is a credit union that underwrites Tech Talks, the program we do in association with the Ballston Spa School District. Very cool program. Nicole is very cool. CEFCU is very cool. Everything is very cool until I get down there and I brush the curb. And there's something sticking out of the curb and I get a flat tire and I have no spare and I'm downtown in the middle of Albany. Fast forward, I'm sitting there panicking. I call Jay Carnival, Bodies by Jay, South Glens Falls. And of course, Chris and Trish are there. And Jay just says to me, don't worry about it. Have your meeting. We're going to send somebody down. He calls Jason in, whose day off. Hops in the flatbed, goes all the way down. I was smart enough to move the car in a spot where they could actually tow it away. I get up there. Andrew here picks me up at the exit, drives me up to the house. I come back down and I do the show, which Dana and Drew have all set for me when I come back in again. Now that's coordination. Lemonade out of lemons. That's what it is. Okay. That's it tonight. Queensbury Town Board meeting. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.